geography chapter, that is Lifelines of Indian Economy. So that is the chapter which we are dealing with, and it is our last geography chapter. Okay, so yes, and previous class we saw about different things like roadways. So what are the classifications that are there in the roadways, and also we saw the roadways are being maintained by different department, central, state, Zilla Parishad, and the other the Prime Minister Sadak Yojana and all we saw in the previous class. Do you all remember, my dear students? Yes, I hope you all are remembering these topics. Yes. So we also saw about the metallic road and unmetallic road, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of the metal road and unmetallic road also we saw. Today we are getting into the new thing, that is about the railways. So, you know how many railway systems are there in India, or railway zones there are in India? Any guesses, my dear students? And few questions I asked you in the Rise of Nationalism in Europe chapter. Few of you have given your answers, particularly Jagan has given me the right answer. So, I really want to appreciate him for doing that. Okay, let us get into the content. So, if you see railways has around how many zones? So, zones will be found out by you? No? I will simply say, okay, fine. I will simply say you that 16 zones are there in India, railway zones. Okay, so these railway zones are being created by the British rule in India. You might be knowing, right? Like the Forest Society Colonialism chapter. Do you remember that chapter, my dear students? Where the Britishers started constructing the railway lines for the transportation of the loads, that is the big goods which they wanted to transport it for a longer distance. And they had the beginning of the railway system in India. And you know what is the first railway line that was being laid in India? And from where to where? It is the railway line which has been laid from Mumbai to Thane in the year of 1853. It was just 34 kilometers. So imagine just 34 kilometers train travel, how it will be. Like that was the testing time which has been done for the transportation of goods as well as the passengers. And here you will be noting a word which is we called as the passengers, in which it is means the transportation of the goods and services. That is what is the thing. Okay. And if you get into these railway system and see, this has really a great thing to do with our nation. It is providing a lot of economical benefit to the nation. It is also bringing so much of income towards the nation in the form of a GDP. Okay. Okay, fine. So how this had started? This had an origin, as I told you, from the British time onwards. So this railway system has so many advantages of its own. Like it is an area, or it is a mode of transport which can be used for a longer distance of travel. Yes or no? So if you want to go to Delhi leisurely, freely, by enjoying the routes and everything, most probably you will get railways, right? The trains, because you want to enjoy and move along with the nature. So it is a long travel process, and bulk and huge goods can be traveled to a longer distance. So this is the advantages. So roadways even will be reaching only the doors and corners, but it cannot take for longer distance. But if you see railways can be made in such a way that it can even be laid in the hilly areas, okay, even in the rugged zones. And you can find these railways are being suitable even in the hilly areas, mountain ranges and all. You know how they will make tunnels in that. They'll make gaps in between the mountains and the trains will be traveling. So that will be really good to see, no? Yes. And you can also see that this can be laid even in the hills, slopy hills like Ooty, Kodaikanal, Darjeeling and all, where the railway facility can facilitate everyone. And also you can see that this does not stop with one particular area alone. It is even extending in the aspects like it is improving or it is providing facilities for the industries as well as to the agriculturalists. How it is providing? We will be asking a question, right? Yes, definitely. What is happening is that, as we saw at the beginning, the agriculturalists, where they are producing their own products, from there to the industrial areas, the railway lines are being connected. So the railway lines facilitate them to transport the raw material from the agricultural area to the area of industries, manufacturing area. So that is also possible. So this is an advantage which you can see. Then in India, the railway system has been completing its year of 150 years on 2004, they are saying. So imagine now it has increased even 160. That is how the year of railway is. And you can find these railways networks have been stationed around 7,031 stations have been spreading over India. Imagine 7,000, and the routes have been lengthening to 63,221 kilometers, and the feet are been increasing to 7,817. And the locomotive means the motion of vehicles, no, those things. This has increased to 532, and it has even led to the passenger service vehicle also, which are available, where the passenger travel is available. Then separate coaches have been developed. So if you see 4,904 coaches are being developed. Coaches means S1, S2, S3 will be there. So those kind of coaches are being developed. Around 4,904 coaches were being developed, and these vehicles have been along with the 228 trains and 170 wagons, fast moving trains which have been developed. This are being the achievement which has been done by the railway system in the year of 2004, March of 31. But now it has still more increased, and you can even feel that the railway system has increasing its own expansion, right? Yes or no? Yes, it is still more increasing. And you might be noting one very, very important thing when you all might have traveled in train. Yes or no? Yes, yes. So when you are traveling or you just have passed the railway routes, you might have seen the tracks. Have you seen the tracks? Yes. So those tracks are being classified based on the goods that have been travelled. You can find they have been classified as broad gauge, meter gauge and narrow gauge. Broad gauge is around 1.676 meter it should be. Then it is meter gauge means 1 meter it should be. Okay. Then you have narrow gauge means it should be around 0.762 to 610. So they are saying that these are the running tracks of them. So this is how they will utilize the running tracks for the transportation. As I told you already, we have 116 locomotoral skills which are available in our railway system itself. Initially, the railway system was in the form of a steam engine. You might be noted, right? Yes, my dear students. So now we have advancement in that itself. We have electric trains which have been running throughout our nation, right? So these are all the advanced development that has been attained in railway system. And we have a very important thing, that is 16 zones are there. Southern zone, northern zone, western zone, eastern zone. These kind of 16 zones of railways are being located in India, and homework for you is supposed to mark all these 16 zones using the map of India, and mark all the 16 zones and send it. That is what is the homework. Okay, so if you see the distribution pattern of Indian railway system, so you can find this distribution of railway system is being for so many aspects, like it is providing economical benefit, and you can see that this railway system are being laid in an area where it is in physiographical divisions are there. What is this physiographical division? Go back to 9th standard, second chapter, physiographical division. That means plains, plateaus, mountains, relief features are there, no? So based on that also the railway lines are being laid, and you can see that the factors that are being influencing the railways is the physiographical feature, economical factor and the administrative factor. So physiographical factor, we know it is based on the relief features. Economical factor, we know like raw material has been taken to the industries. What is this administrative factor? So administrative factor means about the important administrative centers like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai. These are all being called as the administrative centers. So they are supposed to be connected together for the easy flow of the information or easy flow of the people in those areas, or it can be even said as a networking center of all kind of development. If you see Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi and Kolkata are being developing all kind of aspects like industrial development is there, their agricultural development is there, we are modernizing towards IT industries getting developed. So the frequent transportation should be available for that purpose. These administrative centers have been concentrated too much, so they are giving importance for the administrative factor also. That is the another thing. And if you see these railway lines are being located or being northern plains, which has the vast level of land and high population density area, and the area which is very rich in agriculture are being providing the source for laying railway lines in those areas. So northern regions are influenced by this way. And also you can see that large number of rivers are being flowing in that area. So for the connection between the rivers or connection between the two banks, for that purpose the railway lines are being suitable for them to construct, and like crossing the bridges and moving. And if it is in hilly terrains, the hilly terrains like peninsula regions, they say that these hilly terrains, railway tracks are being laid through the hills in the form of a gap or a tunnel. As I told you already, two mountains are there. You can find if it is two mountains, for example here it is there, means in between that they will be allowing the train to move, or they will make tunnels. Tunnels you will be knowing, no? This is the mountain, here they will make tunnels. So tunnels will be used for them to move the train. So the tunnel areas you can find if you travel here to Delhi, definitely when you are crossing the Bhopal region, you can find the tunnel which will be there. It will be too dark at that time whenever it is night or at the daytime. When you enter into the tunnel, it will be very darker. Okay, so this is about it. Then you can see that the railway lines, laying of railway lines is really very hard in certain regions, like where sandy soils are present, swampy soils are present, like Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, Orissa. These regions are being the area which are all not suitable for the laying of the railway lines also. And you can see in the gates of gate passes also we have the railway lines which is being passed, that is Sadiyar. Sadiyar is a place which is located, in that a pass is there. Khyber Pass, Polar Pass, we might have studied in lower class about the Himalayan ranges we have, through which the invaders of the European countries entered. So similarly, through that pass, Sadia Pass, they are able to have a route through which the train can be brought, and the Konkan railway network is really working in an effective manner in the west coast of India, which is facilitating the movement of as well as the passengers and the goods, which have been effectively happening in the Indian country, and that provides lot of economical growth for our nation also. But what happens, there are even drawbacks which is present in the railway system, also by the railway system and also by the common people. So what is it is about? Railway system, there should be a change which has to be made in order to rectify this. So if you see, we have demerits of railway system. So what is the demerit? If you see, the railway lines are being laid under the earth's surface. So what happens is that after long days or after long years, you can find that the railway tracks are getting shrunken into the earth's surface through the rain or something. So the natural calamity makes us to get shrunken into it. It is getting sinked into it. That is the first problem we have. And the next problem you see is that here you can find the railway networking system is a system which is very complicated also. It has advantages but also it is very complicated, and you can find that they are providing a lot of economical benefit also. But here you can find the people who are traveling in the train or moving in the train are not getting the proper tickets. Yes. And we don't have a proper system of checking which happens in the railways. Yes or no? The passenger train you can find often people getting in, people getting out. This happens, right? So there is no person to check in the passenger trains to whether the tickets have been taken by everyone regularly or not. Okay, so that is another drawback. Then you can see that damaging of the railway properties. Damaging the seats, damaging the restrooms, all these things are being done by the common peoples, right? So for that, checking that and maintaining that, we don't have any person to do it. Because it is a long traveling system, we don't have anything like that. And also you can see that theft which happens. What is theft? If you travel from one place to another, for example, longer days, 3 days of travel is there, and there is a possibility of someone stealing your things, right? Yes, and we don't know who is stealing it because it is a train. They will get in this station and next station they will get down. So we are not having proper data of them also to know who is doing all these things. So this is also happening. Then the other thing you can find that the people unnecessarily they will pull the chain which is available in the train to stop the train for some kind of emergency purpose. So the people are not ready to do that for the purposeful thing. They are doing it in an unnecessary manner. Just a waste of time happens for the train. It has to stop in a particular place. The station officer should come and check what is the problem in that. All these things goes on, because of which you can even find the delay of train happens. And when a two train has to pass each other, there is a possibility of even an accident happening in that area because of the delay of time that happens. Yes? Yes or no, my dear students? Yes. So this is what is about the railways, and you can even think about it and how can we as the citizens of India, how can we rectify, because major drawbacks that we have on the railway system is upon us. It is not upon the railway system at all. Railway system has few things, but we had lot of part to be paid in that. So, no. So as the future citizens of India, just think, just imagine that if all the areas been kept clean, proper, and no unnecessary things are being done in the railway system, definitely the system is going to fetch lot of things for us, and it is even edging towards the further development of the other aspects also. Yes or no, my dear students? Yes. So this is what is about today's topic. I'll wind up here and will continue in the next class by tomorrow. Thank you, students.